Perform any ritual on your temple. Okay, I took a break from playing this game, so it's gonna take a while for me to remember. Bloop. Ritual. Here. Bonfires, you light the fires, okay. Oh, it just does it in here. Oh my god. My eyes are bleeding. Yeah, they're so cute and happy. Sermon. Let me brainwash you all! Yes, I am the king. Upgrade expanded abilities of the Red Crown. Okay, for these I'll need to... I won't be able to get any kind of access on them yet. Rituals. This one's on cooldown. And I haven't unlocked anything. I'm guessing it's through the crown that I can unlock more rituals. Oh.
Indoctrinating followers is well and good, but there is so much more you can take from them. Give them gifts, complete quests, and perform blessings for them, and you will increase their loyalty to you. Once they are totally loyal, they will give you everything they own. Watch as I show you, follower. Come back in here.
What? BR2. What did he spit into this guy's mouth? What? Increase the followers' loyalty to level them up, and they will reward you with devotion. And a fragment! Ooh! Each time a follower levels up, they will generate additional devotion. And at a sermon or worshipping at the shrine, so be sure to cultivate. To increase their loyalty, you can give a follower a blessing once a day when you interact with them. You can also give them gifts, complete quests for them, perform sermons, and many other actions. The more loyal
followers you have, the stronger you'll become. I have much to teach you, but I am old and grow weary. Visit me at my home and I will show you how to harness the true power of the Red Crown.
Oh! There's an open map! Lonely Shack. Bequeath. Bad dog. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna bulldog. You're just a good boy. Ah, oh my god, I can level up loyalty like that as well.
Later it would be so funny if we pulled some hilarious pranks on VR2.
Yes, let's do it.
They are a real picky eater, so let's make them eat poop.
Yes. Let's do it. Bowl of poop. A meal made of excrement. Causing illness and diarrhea, minus 20 faith. Okay, this will be my punishment to anyone who causes any trouble. God damn. Imagine being given poop for messing up. Here we go. Yes, I got myself into the character. Yeah, into the game. Ah. Okay, wait. I am naturally obedient. And I generate devotion much faster. Yeah. Oh yeah, how do I view my... You're gonna be worshipping. I'm gonna fix it. Oh, edit buildings. Oh my god! I just noticed. Oh. Put it behind. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Move. Yes. Yes, I can fix things. Let's go here.
Finally, let us end this. I'll be awaiting you in my temple. Come witness true power.
Go. Yo, I can finally fight him. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. Traitor's Razor. Plasma. Quick. Alright, what is this one? Divine Blast. It just looks like a fart to me. A very explosive fart. Knocks back enemies within range while also damaging them. Wait, what's the button for shooting things? Oh, what did I do? Oh no, I used it. Oh. Okay, it only does a circle around me, and it's not like something that charges up. Interesting. Bah, there we go. Yeah, look at this. They're kind of like beds, nests with grass and bone. Interesting. Twitch chat are deciding your fate. Wait, no. Overgrown stand for a lantern. Ooh, extra lantern. Yo. What did you decide? You have unlocked a new building. Oh, building? Let's see. I can get a new follower. Heart? I kind of need the resources, though. What is that? What is that hat, though? What is the red crown over there? Oof, damn it, damn it. Making me curious. You're making me too curious. Or I can skip all that. Okay, what am I most curious about? Is it the 2 hearts at the end? Over there? No. I'm guessing that's just like a boost. There's like a cat face on this one. And then there's the crown. Yeah, sure. Let's get this. Let's get an extra follower. Special place. Usually a giant totem. Ah, okay. There we go. Let's check this crown. Ooh. Oh, oh, flowers and seeds. Yo. Pray. Oh. Your possessions will follow you through death. Ah! So basically, if I... Oh! Okay, so I'm not afraid of dying now. Yeah! Oh. Oh no. Oh no. It's doing the thingy again. Oh, your face is so adorable.
Your persistence is getting to annoy me, little lamb. You may think yourself clever, you may think yourself righteous in your service to him, but you should not be so trusting of the Chained One. Oh, well, it's too late to talk. One such as you deserves no absolution. This will not end well for you.
Yahaha. Oh. Oopsie. Getting hit. I'm getting hit. Oh no, my health. Oh, I forgot about my health. Copa Pia. Boah. Oh. I got half a heart. Okay. No! Okay. Give me health. Give me some health, please. Can we hope to get some? Oh. What is this? Who are you? I can fish in this game, yeah! What was your voice again? Hey kiddo, keep your eyes off my fishes. Oh, his mouth is on the top of his head. Oh, okay, it's a fish. Kinda. Oh god.
There ain't enough for the both of us. The best fishing can be found at Pilgrim's Passage. There's that, you say? Let me show you.
Pilgrim's Passage. Ooh! Ooh, new area.
See? Now get out of here.
Oh wait, look at this. They're like nests on top, and there are people living in there. Oh. And the candles inside the trees are still a thing. But look at this. Who lives in these? Okay. Please, give me something. Yes! Heart! Oh! Okay. Damn it, it's been a Hollow Knight. I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna fight. Oh!
Yeah!
Ooh. 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 Yes, let's do this. Wait, but before I go, let me check. There are big pillars. People hiding in there. Yeah, it definitely looks like some sort of ruined castle. Give me some bones. Oh, bloody skulls. Right. Do I have to fight all of you?
I got tired of you, little lamb. Time to put an end to this frivolous masquerade.
Ooh, we're seeing the gates with the chains. So we're gonna be breaking one of them. Yeah. Are they? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I am learning a lot from you. I need to make a very evil cult. I'm gonna have a lot of them sacrifice themselves for me. Okay, you do that. You do that thing. Whoopsie. I'm doing a lot of damage. Okay, I guess I can get the smaller ones to I don't know, drop some ammo for the blah. Got a lot of health. I don't have a lot of health though, kind of, but come on. Come on. He's a big boss. What are you doing? Oopsie. Oh no. What is this? What is this? Come on. Come here. Oh no. Oh ho ho. Oh ho ho. Okay. I can just roll through them. Nice. Oh no. He's spawning way too many. He's spawning way too many. Oh shit, I should have got rid of them. Okay. Come on. Oopsie. He smacked me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh no. Come on. Oh no. Oh no. My health. Oh no. Hey, hey, hey. Careful. Come on. Come on. Let me get these. Yes, yes, yes. Alright. I need to be very, very... Come on. Let's hope I can get some heal. Oh, oh, oh. Come on, 3 hits, 3 hits. Come on. Oh. Come on, almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Oh. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, hey, here we go. First try. Ooh. Oh, the heart. The heart. It's from this guy. I've seen those in upgrades. Oh my god. Whoa. Yeah, I've taken the beating heart over. Why is it still beating? What the hell? The red crown can feast upon this heart to unlock new abilities. This is the altar in your temple to unleash the true power of the red crown. Ooh. I think I've been gone for 2 days. Yeah. Oh, that looked cool. Gimme, 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 gimme. Lamp flag. Statue. Oh, I can get a statue of myself. Yeah. Yeah. I get a lot. Gimme, gimme all the money. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Ooh, Darkwood. What? Wait, a trophy. Leshy trophy. A trophy for killing Leshy. Ooh. Trophies, ah. And I'm getting the... Ooh. Gimme, 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 gimme. Let's see. Anything else? Right, we done. Yeah. Oh! That felt good. And I got a couple of different new items. Like 2 different fishies. And I love that the the fish's design is kind of similar to something you draw in elementary. It's so cool.
There she fell before you like a grain of sand before a tidal wave.
Okay, that's it. Ooh. What is a shepherd without a flock? Uh-huh. New. Hello, everyone. Ben Candy, why are you so angry? Whoa. Gosh. Why are you so angry? Inspired by your victory against a bishop. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. It's been a while. I got some new followers. But before that, I want to... Oh, no way. I won't be able to do the sermon. Let me get a follower and then suck his life out of him. Lumberyard. Follower will generate. Oh, yes. Yes. I need a lot of resources. This one will generate stones. What about this one? Send your followers on holy quest. Ooh. I'm gonna invest. I can get fish. That's what the fish are for. Food. 15% chance of follower vomiting instantly. Yeah. Yeah, I'll need to get you guys some food so you can poop more. berries are just too healthy for you. So no. Ooh, I finally can do one of these. Darkness will then receive a diseased heart at the beginning of each crusade run. Why? Omnipresence, focus whilst on the crusade run to instantly return to the base. Once a day, eat a meal to receive. Wait, I can eat now? Why is this? Why is this an optional thing to pick? Ah, I love it. Dark hearts are kind of good. Diseased heart? Oh, is this an item? Is this like one of the tarot cards? The icon kind of looks familiar. Resurrection. When killed on a crusade run for the first time, sacrifice a follower to be resurrected. Yes. Yes. Well, I did say I'm going for a very, very evil cult, so it is gonna be built on sacrifice. Yes. Death is no longer the end. When killed on a crusade, you may sacrifice a follower to be resurrected. Yes. Oh yeah. I can get the crown thingy. Wait. Oh, I can choose. Afterlife? Reassure them that death is not the end. Have them proffer both labor and love. Teach them the true meaning of obedience. Preach on the value of earthly goods. Instruct them on the liturgies surrounding their daily bread. Huh? No, these are all good. I don't want to be good to you. I want to abuse my power. All these sound too good for a cult. For the most evil cult on Twitch. Ah, fine. Let's make you worship me harder. Oh, okay, that's how it works. Can I? Okay, I can go back. Let's see. All cult members will gain industrious trait and increase work speed by 15%. Oh, my slow workers are not gonna be slow anymore. All cult member will gain the faithful trait, will generate devotion faster. I kind of have a lot of things to unlock. I have a lot of things to unlock, so let's do this. You have declared a doctrine which has imbued the followers with a new trait. This trait will be applied to all members of the cult. Will change how their faith is affected by events. No! This will make them good. So I'm guessing they're not gonna vomit or puke the moment they see a corpse? Damn it. I said I wanted to be a bad damn cult leader. Why am I doing? Ah, no! 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 I think these are like the good choices on this side. And the bad choices are on this side. Damn you! No! Alright, I guess I'll have to choose left every time. Wait, right. You woke everyone and disrupted the sleep of the night. Alright. Ben is coming back to sleep. That works, I guess. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Gimme, 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 gimme. Wait, what are these? Catch critter? They're trying to steal. What the hell? Wait, what is that? Collect loyalty reward? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I did get more. I can. Ooh. Let's get this one.
Excuse me, leader. I just wanted to say that I love you.
Damn it. Can make the poop soup. VR2. Right after they said that they love me. Yes, here you go. If you love me, prove it. Wait, this is not the poop meal. Wait, where's the poop meal? Wait, where is the poop meal? Oh, here you go. I need 3 pieces of poop. I need 3 poops. Come here, poop for me. What? What quest failed? What quest? Oh no, there's a time limit. Oh, I didn't get to get the... I just got the 3 poops though. Ah, welcome aboard. Get ready to die. Get ready to die. Strong constitution. Heals. Okay, you heal faster. I assume an axolotl. Or not. Yeah, I don't know what you are supposed to be. I think... Oh yeah, I think you're one of those like worm creatures that dig through the ground. No tasks, no tasks. You only have to worship. There's nothing going on. Oh, here we go. Here's my player. No weapons equipped. No curse. Doctrine fragments. Resurrection. What about the cult? Cult traits. Generate. Notification. Oh, here we go. I can see now. Not enough beds. 3 followers are homeless. Oh yeah, I need to make new beds now. There we go. Oh, flip. Flip doesn't do nothing though. Up, here's 1. And 2. Ah, VR2, why do you... What? Oh my god, what is happening to you? My faith is shaken. I can see through your lies. You are a fraud and I must tell the others. Oh no, VR2! How dare you! You were the first one! You're my first follower! Fall has begun dissenting against you. This happens when the cult's faith is too low. Ah, that's what happens when the faith is too low. Okay, I guess since I am a cult, I need to have my faith higher. A traitor is spreading falsehoods about you. Other followers may also be led astray. To re-educate them, put them in prison. Or just sacrifice them. You make the rules after all. Alright. VR2? Oh my god. Oh my god, what the hell is happening to you? This follower has lost their way. Show them the truth and eventually they will... What happens if I re-educate them? Oh. What? I love the protest voice. I know, it's so cute. Do I keep...
I've already heard enough of your lies for one day. We will continue our argument tomorrow.
Oh, the trees are growing up. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of poop. Alright, I think VR2 needs a good poop meal. Bowl of poop. And make some berries. Make whatever's available. Cook. And VR2, you need to eat. Wait, no, wait. Did Nezumi, did you eat the poop? Ugh. Nezumi ate the poop. Damn it. What can I do? How do I kill a follower then? If I do it like this, re-educate, read mind, and then remember for 10 days, age 35. Faith, if the cult is too low, I need to be re-educated or I might leave. Wait, what happens if they leave? Huh. Build? Can I build anything else? Right, I guess I got nothing to do other than go fishing. Oh, let's escape all life's troubles. Just fish. And lots of berries. Ooh, I can mine here. Okay, so I can probably get some resources. Ooh, I can chop the trees. Here we go. Lumber. Thank you for the lumber. I'm seeing money. Is that money? Buy follower form. Oh? Oh, these are the ones I got. Oh. What if I buy one? I got a lot of money. Oh, it's random. Ooh. Is this a horse or a donkey? Yeah, we'll see. Where you at? Where's the name? I'm not seeing the name. Okay, fine. I guess we'll have to just guess. Are there any koala followers? You know, I want a koala. I think even Devolver Digital are like, some of them are like based from Australia, so it would be weird that they don't have any koala animals in mind. Let's get the berries. More berries. More seeds. Hello. Well, look at the tide dragged in. Oh, wait. Look what the tide dragged in. What are you just standing there for? I think I'm gonna fish for you. I'm now one of your mindless acolytes. Hey, let me fish. Fish! What? Oh, there's a big fish. Yes. Ooh, okay, that's a nice mini game. Not useless at all. Oh, there's actually axolotl. Oh, did you see it? Listen, perhaps we could help one another. I happen to have caught some extremely valuable treasures in my time. Oh, side quest. Things that a fish like me, or I mean a fisherman like me, has no use for. But to you, well, you look like you're like valuable things. Below these waves look some of the hardest to catch beasts that ever lived, and I've been trying for years. If you can snag them, these treasures are yours. Yes, these treasures will be mine. Boop. No koala. It's so sad that there are no koalas in this game. I can snag him. These treasures are yours. Ah! Catch me a crab or lobster, an octopus, and a squid. Oh, all of them. No. Take this as a gesture of good faith between two non-fish friends. Oh? Oh. Enemies have a chance to drop why would they poop? Would they poop fishes? why would they drop fishes? I don't think people will keep fishes in there. Let's see. Can I go in? Oh, I can go in. Okay. I guess we got our axolotl. I think that's an axolotl, yeah?
Wow, who dared enter our sacred house of light? Apologies. It's just that lighthouse is getting dimmer no matter how hard we worship. And the ships keep sinking on the rocks.
New ships mean no new pilgrims to walk the sacred path.
If only our leader was here, he would know what to do. We have not seen her since she went on a walk on the Pure Light one night. We begged her not to go. We all know of the teeth in the darkness, but she would not listen.
Now we have no choice but to pray until the lighthouse is lit once more.
All hail the mighty light!
This kind of voice is hurting my throat. Such a tiny hand with a headpad. It's there for 10 minutes. Yes, 10 minutes or until I remember to remove it. Love this axolotl friend. Yes. Oh, I can add fuel. But I'm sorry. Oh. I'm loving the tune. Oh god, my faith is so low. Whoop. Here we go. Catamon. Ooh. There's an exclamation mark on the crown. Gimme, 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 gimme. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh. What? I can do this. Vampiric weapons. A chance to heal the wielder. Oh, they're still like random occurrence though. But at least there's a chance I might get them now. Crown. Ooh, I got one. Let's get a new doctrine. Afterlife, sustenance, possessions, law and order. Sustenance. Because food is important. Ritual fast. Perform a ritual that attempts to declare a fast. Followers will not eat or be hungry for 3 days. Feasting ritual. Unlock the feasting ritual. Throw a grand feast for your followers to refill their hunger. And gain 25 faith. I kind of really like the feast. Yes. Ooh, it's a ritual. And it costs bones. Are we eating our enemies? Ooh, I can increase the faith with this. Sure, let's feast up. Let's make a... Oh, so I built it just now. Oh, okay. Doctrine. Let's see. What did I unlock? Sustenance. Rituals. Wait, did they eat? Oh, I didn't use it. Let's see. Rituals. Oh my god. Meat up. Heat up. That's a lot of... Nice. Nice. Ooh, even I was eating. Even Toto was eating. Okay, I need to remember The lamb. I named the lamb Toto. Toto, look at this cute. Look at this cutie. Look at this cutie. Ah. Okay. Face has been restored. Twitch chat on deciding your fate. Oh, there's something here. I can cast votes. Oh, I can use it on my laptop screen. Here's the help. Build all structures. Gain faith. Clear all waste. Sure, let's clean all the waste. Always had been cleaned. Rigged. Exactly. But I am just one person. You need to overtake me. The cult leader. I am the most evil Twitch cult. So I need to have some things rigged, you know? Oh wait. They don't have food, so I need to prepare some meals. Fine. Right, let's get the poop. There we go. You need to eat the poop. I love that it's a dissenter, but still listening to me. It's day 13. Come here. Let's re-educate you. Let's hope the poop helped. Hello.
Great leader, we can't rely on your crusades to bring us lumber and stone. Let us build a lumber yard and stone mine. So through our sweat and toil, you may grow rich in these resources. Yes, I would love to do it. And the stone mine.
There we go. Next will be this one. Is it gonna show? Oh, it's down here. Ooh, I can get this one. I still need. I am too low on wood. I can make the mine somewhere around there. Sure. Oh, I can place more than one. No, not gonna travel just yet. Ooh, here we go. Ah, one of the chains were broken. Nice. Let's see. Ooh, I can open this door. Yeah. Give me all your blood. Give me your soul and blood. Come here. Let's go. Let's go. Anura. Oh. New weapon. Vampiric sword. Ooh, that was lucky. Yeah. Ichor throne. 4. Projectile that spreads black Ichor? Ichor or Ichor? How does it look like? Oh! This game seems addicting. That is! That is very addicting. And at the same time, it's very, very chill. So it's the perfect game to play in between... in between games like Monster Hunter. And let's see. Got a heart. Ooh, look at the view. It's so cool. Oh my god, I keep getting all these health hearts, extra hearts. It makes me wonder, why am I getting all these hearts? Is it just chance, or are they preparing me for something? Look at the view. It's like mushroom trees. It's kind of reminding me of Mario. Those mushroom top levels. Hello, let's get some tarot cards. We'll go with this one. I need lumber. I really need the wood. Give me all your wood. Oh, that kind of sounds wrong. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, no, I'm not sorry. I didn't say anything. I said nothing. And I got some new item, I think. I didn't notice it. Oh my god, the hinder options are nasty. I can lose all the special hearts. Hard enemies next room. Poison will be dropped when attacking. And it's right at the boss area. Wait. When attacking, I will drop poison. Oh my god. Damn. Oh my god, I am pooping. I'm making a lot of toxic poop. Oopsie. There you go. Ooh, ooh. Oh my god, it's still here. Oh my god. I am so focused on the toxic... I did say I want to be a toxic leader, but not like this. Oh my goodness. Does it poison them at least? Or is it just poisoning me? What is this black sludge? I kinda... Does it just slow them down? Oh, it does kill them. Bane sword. I can get a Crusader blade, but I can get heals with my... No. I can just equip this one, equip it back, and then recycle. No, I don't need tarot. Let's see. Hello. Pathetic, sniveling, vile puppet to the Red Crown. You have failed the youngest of us. We are the bishops of the old faith. We protect against heresies such as yours. We are the guardians of the true word, and we shall not tolerate such blasphemy. Your sins are many, and for that your loyal followers must suffer. They shall starve. Wait, what? Oh! Baby Jedi, no! Ah! Oh no! Did he just force him to puke? What? I keep... Poop is usually toxic, right? Is this extra toxic poop? I know, right? Oh god. This is a very liquidy poop, if that's the case. Okay, I can't skip. Ben Candy! No! Don't become a dissenter! Oh no.